things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too serious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is First Things First, my first thing every day. No matter the obstacles, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders, yes, the community. Let's go. It is a Talking Point Tuesday, right? So hopefully you know by now, but if you're new, welcome to the KBLA delegation. Hour 1, we go local. We look to the left coast. Hour 2, we do national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. Today, we're talking about changing the narrative, how Black documentarians are the lion's historian. You know that saying, until the lion has his historian, the hunter will always be the hero. It's a South African saying. Well, the Black documentarians, Black press, as the president points out in the promo you just heard, we are the lion's historian, and we'll talk a little bit about that, what it takes to change the narrative with some Black documentarians of note. It is a Talking Point Tuesday, so this is where we unpack, dismantle, debunk propaganda disguising itself as news. We call them talking points. They're things that political consultants, yes, you could say on all sides of the aisle, make up and then repeat, put into the ether. The Republican Party does a great job of being very disciplined in the way they do their talking points so that everybody's saying the same thing. It's not as disciplined as it used to be. I'll admit that because of the far right MAGA extremists, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world. But that said, there's still quite a bit of uniformity in their approach, their talking points. Attorney Connie Rice was talking about it somewhat yesterday on the show, that we being progressives, we being Democrats, are not cognizant of even what fight we're in. And so we are bringing policy to a knife fight. So that's one of the purposes of Talking Point Tuesday, along with this idea that in the age of misinformation, we may have passed the age of information and entered the age of misinformation, as demonstrated by AI and the capacity for deep fakes, where now this artificial intelligence can get a sample of your voice and actually recreate you saying any old thing, right? Can get a picture of your body and meld it with a naked body. And so that we have to become more and more aware. We have to be increasingly diligent in our understanding, in our media literacy, in our scrutiny of anything and everything we see, especially on social media. So that's the point of Talking Point Tuesday. In a way, every day is Talking Point Tuesday, because we always have to sort out the fact from the fiction and learn how to find the truth inside all of the spin. That's part of what we do today. In hour 2, we're going to be joined by our partner in politics. We often are joined in hour 1 by that person, but I think for Talking Point Tuesdays, we're looking at more partners in politics in the second hour so that we can look at some of the national talking points and really take them on today. I'll be joined by attorney Jaiye Person Lin, who is a huge Second Amendment defender, and we're going to talk about guns. I am also a proponent of the Second Amendment, but I'm definitely more inclined to look at how do we stop these killings rather than just universal anything goes, Ohio style, no license, no background check, get your gun, put it in your pocket, walk around. It's the conversation we'll be having. How do we protect my gun rights, your gun rights, our constitutional rights, and still stop the bloodbath that's happening right now in our country? And it's been happening, but this year appears to be just insane. I mean, it feels like an escalation. I don't know how it stacks up against all-time high. I know the sort of talking point, if you will, is that there are more shootings this year than there are days in the year. And that is the truth. And by quite a bit, I would add. But I don't know where that stands historically, but it feels terrible. And it is something that must stop. We got to find a way to have our rights and have our safety. So me and attorney Jaiye will be chopping it up, probably debating. You're definitely invited. You're always invited. This hour, it's me, you, and the microphone. So if you like a little peace and quiet in your convo, you might want to call me now. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580, where we're amplifying Black and progressive voices all day long.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Let's get back to business, Los Angeles County. The Economic Opportunity Grant Program is now open. This program is designed to provide financial support to qualified small businesses, micro entrepreneurs, food industry businesses such as restaurants, and nonprofits in Los Angeles County. Approximately 4,600 grants of up to $2,500 each will be administered to qualified micro businesses that face barriers to accessing capital resources. To learn more about the Economic Opportunity Grant Program, visit www.grants.lacounty.gov. The application process is fast and easy. Don't miss the opportunity to get back to business. This program is administered by the County of Los Angeles through its Department of Economic Opportunity and funded in part through a grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. The application portal is powered by Lindustry. Visit www.grants.lacounty.gov and get back to business.
Congratulations to Pristine Pipeline, LLC, for being this week's winner of KBLA's Office of the Week. Your office won lunch for 10, delivered by the original Taco Pete. Congratulations to Pristine Pipeline, LLC.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Leroy 71's backed up. What's your 20? Over.
Olivia needs more drivers for her trucking company to go the extra mile.
Got 3 more stops to make.
She wants to hitch a team to drive business forward.
Lots of double nickels on the 169. You know what I'm over? This driver shortage.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Gotta stay fresh, ma. Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
I am really, I really feel like we, the KBLA delegation, those of us who voted for Karen Bass for mayor, those of us who worked really hard to get her elected and understood the assignment when it comes to saving our city, literally getting our city out of this crisis that we're in around houselessness and affordability, right? Homelessness on the one hand, where everybody deserves a place to be safe and inside, and affordability in the sense that so many of us are housing insecure, paying 50% or more of our income just to keep a roof over our head. We understood the assignment. We elected the first woman mayor in the city of Los Angeles, someone well qualified, a community organizer, the first black woman mayor, but not just for the symbolism, for the dedication to the city, for the activism, for the ability to bring people together. That's why I'm so baffled that council members Monica Rodriguez and Bob Blumenfield feel like they want to hold out on the money to deal with this houseless crisis by putting it in unappropriated funds budget so that there's no guarantee that the mayor will have access to it for her safer inside program. It's $200 million. They're saying blah, 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 oversight, blah, 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 blah. You know what? What they're talking about is making the mayor or her team, check in every month or every couple of weeks just to try to access more money, which is a waste of her time that needs to be spent getting folks off the streets. So what you're telling me is that first $50 million that you appropriated for the first few months, that's the emergency. Now the emergency is over. Is that what you're telling me, Councilmember Blumenfield? The emergency's over. So we can go back to moving like snails? I don't think so. And I think this is one area where the KBLA delegation, the progressive, the conscious, the folks that are like, yeah, okay, inside safe isn't perfect. It's a work in progress. But it's moving. It's moving. It's a program that's moving after years and years of, I don't want to say not doing anything because we've been doing a lot and we've been getting people off the streets, but they're going on faster than they're coming off. And that's the equation we have to change if we want to get out of this situation. The emergency is not over. You say, oh, okay, Mayor Karen Bass, you got 115 days or 120 days to fix a problem decades in the making. No, I don't think so. I think we need to be writing to these council members, particularly those on the budget committee, of which Blumenfield is the chair, and put them on notice. Look, send an email or, send a letter. I remember many years ago we sent, and Molly Bell always reminds me of this, we sent cans of tuna fish to the courthouse in Long Beach because it was a fishy situation with some teenagers who were detained on Halloween. And we just want to make it plain that the community saw it. We knew it was fishy. And I'm sure they were not too happy to have a bunch of cans of tuna showing up in the courthouse there. And I'm feeling like this situation may warrant something similar. Not tuna fish. We've got to come up with something else. Because I feel like we, the citizens, this is the moment for us to say, one of the moments, yes, we will demand accountability. And obviously, City Council will demand accountability. The mayor has made it clear that she has every intention of letting folks know how that money is going, where that money is going. But we don't need anything to slow this down. This is emergency response. Like you're going to send in special forces, on the ground somewhere to rescue people, say from tents. I mean, anywhere in the world. And then You get them on the ground. You go, you know what? We're not sure about this funding. You stay out there on the ground, and every time you need another bit of ammunition, you come and you talk to us. And you go back out on the ground and you do a little bit more fighting, and then you come and you talk to us. That is not emergency response. If we've all agreed that this is emergency, the council has declared it an emergency on behalf of the mayor, then we don't get to slow down now. And I think Monica Rodriguez, I think the entire budget committee needs to hear from us. And I will be providing you with those numbers, emails, because this is a time, just as we can critique the mayor and say, yes, we would like there to be more supportive services at these hotels. And the mayor herself has said, yes, she would like there to be less moving around of people. The reason that happens is because there are not available rooms in places where some of these folks are. One of the reasons why the mayor wants to buy several hotels, as many as we can manage to buy, and that's part of what this funding is for. No, this is not the time to tap the brakes. This is the time to go boldly forward, knowing that we are at the crossroads of long-term, permanent tent cities in our beautiful, beautiful communities, and people continuing to die on these streets in a way that nobody deserves to do, and making real change. Yeah, we're building the plane while we're flying it. Yeah, we are, but that's the nature of emergency. You don't get to sit around and do 10 studies, contemplate your navel, and force the mayor to come in and justify the budget that she needs to continue getting people off the streets. Yeah, that's what I woke up with on my mind this morning. I feel like it's something important, because the other thing that we see, and we see this a lot with black electeds, is that we elect them, and we've done this in the past, we elect them, walk away, don't demand the accountability, but also don't provide the support of our activism to push through our agenda, right? Our activism. So we put these black electeds in office and then walk away and wonder why everything didn't get done. Don't give them the resources to accomplish the Herculean tasks that we are expecting them to do, and then wonder why it didn't get done. And then what happens next? White lash, and we end up with a Trump, or look at Venice. We went from the most progressive, arguably most progressive council member, right, to in Bonin, to arguably the most conservative in Park. So we have to, yes, hold them accountable, but we also have to provide the voices and support for our agenda in order to move it forward, and demand the resources to accomplish the things. Otherwise, it's all emperor's new clothes. Oh, look how nice. You got a symbol. Enjoy your symbol. Well, symbols don't buy homes. Symbols don't provide homes. Symbols are good. Inclusion is important. Representation matters, but it's not all that matters. And so let's move. Let's mobilize. Let's get information on this. I think it's worth speaking out on. Hey, Miles, you were right. The Lakers won last night. That was an exciting game, right? It was more exciting than actually I wanted it to be. I kind of wanted it to be a bit of a blowout. But the way I look at it, if Curry has a triple-double and you still win, that's pretty awesome. Right? I mean, it was close. It was exciting. But I thought it was, portends well, even though you would want them, because we're at home, you want them to blow them out. Supposedly you were saying the Warriors don't play good on the road. That's what all the announcers were saying. But they seemed like they were playing pretty good last night.
Championship team. So it's not like we were playing any scrubs out there. I just want people to remember that. It's not like we're playing a G League team and barely getting by them. The Lakers are beating, think about it, the Warriors are the reigning champions. And yeah, they're not playing at their full capacity, I feel like, but they're the reigning champions, and the Lakers are about to beat them and go to the Western Conference Finals. Come on now.
That's your prediction? I hope you're right.
There hasn't been, I think it's only been, 3 or 4 teams that have came back from being down 3-1. I don't think that's going to happen for the Warriors.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I heard Shaq last night. I don't know if he was trying to, like, get the Lakers fired up or if he's just rooting for the Warriors. But he was like, yeah, they have a really good chance of winning. You know, I think he was trying to stop the Lakers from being complacent. But I felt like, man, Steph Curry and LeBron James seem so fired up to me. The whole team just seems so fired up. It's like, I love that intensity when everyone really wants it. Those are good games.
It's like that too because it feels like both teams are playing for the superstar. Like they bought into the fact that hey, this is not going to be here forever. We're around greatness. Let's be a part of something historic. So and I like that. And shout out to my homie Troy Brown Jr. Man, he plays for the Lakers. Came from Las Vegas. That's one of my legit little homies, man. He's out there.
That.
Yeah. So shout out to him playing, living his dream out there, man. I talked to him. He told me that, man, that's what they're doing. They're playing for LeBron. They feel this one is going to be a real special year. It doesn't come around all the time. So that's what's up.
That's amazing. Sorry, Bay Area friends and family. I'm rooting for the Lakers. Yes, I am. And I don't, we got to go back to the Bay now. So that's tougher, right? A lot tougher.
Yeah, I mean, we stole one in the Bay already, so I think we can get it done. We can close it out. I hope we close it out so that we can get a little extended rest. But if not, it's all good. We'll come back home to L.A. and close it out, I think.
Yeah,
I think Lakers in 6. That's my guess.
I'm hoping that the fact that I haven't been able to watch basketball or any sports in forever, and I actually really like basketball and football and boxing, but I just haven't. But I was like, I can't miss this. Maybe it felt like, I've taken the Lakers for granted a little bit just from, being blessed to watch Kobe and really be, actually have great seats and watch the Lakers, in amazing moments. And now it feels all new and, exciting because it feels like everyone counted us out. So, I love that. And I'm hoping that means, yeah, why not? I still think it's a tall order, even up 3-1. I still think it's a tall order.
Oh yeah, you got to put these boys away though. You can't get them life. You can't let them fight back. And like I said before, I hope everybody realizes that this is history we're watching. We're watching Steph Curry and LeBron James duel it out in a playoff series again. This is incredible. So.
That is a good point. I mean, when you watched, at least when I watched Kobe, it's kind of like you watching history. You're going to look back and say, wow, I was there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good point. That's true because these are two amazing, and they're surrounded by great talent too. Mm-hmm. It's not just, Steph and LeBron. So it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch that guy, Lonnie Walker, have his moment. Like at 24, just being like, I'm ready. Yeah, I got this. I love that. Got to stay ready. So I said if stay ready was a person. News, traffic, and sports. We're taking your phone calls. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Illinois, African-American Lori Lightfoot is saying goodbye to the Chicago mayor's office. Lightfoot gave an emotional farewell address yesterday, saying she feels better about the city's future than ever.
I'm optimistic because over the last 4 years, we did everything that we could to maintain and further Chicago's status as a global and welcoming city.
Her speech came a week before African-American Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson will replace her as mayor. President Biden is making his first public comments about the Hollywood writers' strike since it began last week. During a White House screening of the television show American-Born Chinese, Biden emphasized the power of stories and the importance of treating storytellers with the dignity, respect, and value they deserve. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
If you're a late-night snacker, listen up. Buffalo Wild Wings created a menu of late-night food and drinks starting at $4, 10 till close, full of tasty apps and ice-cold beer to wash it all down. Limited time at participating locations. Offers, days, and times may vary. Drink responsibly. Void where prohibited. Tax and fees extra.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers hold on for a dramatic three-point win over Golden State. They lead the defending NBA champs 3-1 in the best-of-7 series. Story of the night, backup guard Lonnie Walker. The seldom-used Walker scored all 15 of his points in the fourth quarter off the bench in a tight game. The Lakers needed every one of those points. LeBron led the Lakers with 27. The remarkable Steph Curry had a triple-double. Game 5 is Wednesday night in San Francisco. LSU's women's basketball team and UConn's men's team will be honored at the White House on May 26 to celebrate their national championships. After winning the title, the LSU women said they were not going to the White House if Iowa, the team they beat, was also invited. The Biden administration reconsidered and decided not to invite Iowa after all. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
The story of Emmett Till and his mother is a story of a family's promise and loss and a nation's reckoning with hate, violence, and abuse of power. It's a story that was seared into our memory and our conscience, the nation's conscience, when Mrs. Till insisted that an open casket for her murdered and maimed 14-year-old son. She said, "Let the people see what I've seen." The reason the world saw what she saw was because of another hero in this story, the black press. Jet Magazine, the Chicago Defender, and other black radio and newspapers were unflinching and brave in making sure America saw what she saw. Ida B. Wells once said, and I quote, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon the wrongs."
Turning the light of truth upon the wrongs. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
All the symptoms, let's defeat it. Test it, treat it, you can beat it. Test it. If you feel sick, test to know if it's COVID. Treat it. Medication is key to slow the virus in your body. Beat it. Recover smoother. You may test negative sooner. California, you know you need it. Test it, treat it, you can beat it.
Yeah. Visit youcanbeatit.org or call 833-422-4255 to ask for medication to treat COVID-19. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Have you faced discrimination in Los Angeles? The City of LA Civil Rights Department can help. They investigate private sector discrimination in LA City in commerce, education, employment, and housing. If you're facing discrimination, submit a complaint online for free at laisforeveryone.com. That's laisforeveryone.com or call 213-978-1845.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. California's got the nation talking. Los Angeles has got the nation talking. Of course, I'm speaking of the LA Lakers. Of course, I'm speaking about reparations, the California Task Force, making those preliminary recommendations, moving forward with those. We'll see a final report at the end of June, calling for reparations in a number of different areas, with formulas for how much a person might get depending on how long they lived in California and whether they were subject to certain conditions. And also changes in policy. All of this is tentative. It's all recommended. It's not written in stone. It doesn't mean that it'll necessarily unfold that way, but it could. And the important point is the precedent that's being set, the conversation being kicked off nationally, California leading the way on something that is good instead of leading the way on the terrible things we've led the way in the past, like 3 strikes and getting rid of affirmative action. So reversing Prop 209 and looking at so many policies that are anti-Black is part of what this task force is recommending. And now we're going to have people talking about cops and stops. Now, Berkeley, California set it off when they voted to remove armed police officers from their traffic stops altogether and have unarmed civilian workers who are part of a special office that does that pull people over if it's a tail light or if it's, something not a crime, right? There's no real major crime going on here, but it's simply a ticket. And the Sandra Blands and Philando Castiles of the world will still be with us if this policy had been in place. So now there's a new study that hasn't been released yet, but the LA Times says they got a peek at it. It's talking about whether or not cops should be in stops. And according to the Department of Transportation, who was doing this study, it's time to take cops out of most traffic stops. Now, this thing, we've been waiting for it for more than 3 years, and I'm sure Council Member Marquise Harris Dawson has a smile on his face this morning looking at that, or yesterday, whenever he saw it, because he's been on a mission to work on taking cops out of stops. I'm sure Senator Steve Bradford has a smile on his face because he's been pushing to get through the statewide legislation needed to allow this. Apparently, in California, you have to be a sworn officer, a sworn personnel to conduct traffic stops. That can be changed with a legislation. That's what Bradford is trying to do so that we could move forward with this kind of policy. And it seems the study coming from the Transportation Department is going to affirm that, even though there is also some concern about what our infrastructure upgrades are that need to be done, because our city streets, I have a lot of problematic intersections, potholes, other things that create hazards and make escalate problems. Critics, it's always critics say there is now so much craziness on the roads, right? When you look at street takeovers and some of the road rage and violence incidents, that it can't just be handled by non-armed civilian personnel. But again, we're not talking about major crimes. If you're doing a street takeover, that's a little different than getting pulled over for expired tags or a tail light that's out. And that's what we're talking about here. And so I feel like this is a good thing because it represents momentum towards the kind of common sense police reforms that would save Black lives and other lives, not just Black lives, other lives, and probably end up saving us money, by the way, too, from city budgets. Let's go to Terry calling us from LA. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
I just had 2 questions for you.
Okay. What's with the
First
pregnant
with Karen.
pauses? What's going on this morning?
Oh, I don't know what
You
happened.
smoke
I
a little
guess so.
weed when you woke up this morning,
I don't
Terry?
even smoke weed
Okay,
now.
okay. Well, you sound a little... You haven't had your coffee yet? Talk to me.
My coffee yet, nah. But real quick, with Karen Bass, she may want to do great things, but until people get the notion not in my backyard, good luck on that homeless problem. But
Because of the
question
NIMBYs,
first-
the not in my backyard folks. Yeah.
Venice, and it's not enough room in LA. It ain't. You got to build outside in the white communities, and they probably ain't going to allow that. But
Okay, well, I want to push back on that, and don't worry, I'll get to your next question, because we have so much unused land, lots that are sitting there, malls that are broke down, hardly being used, office buildings that are not occupied. And that's why I was glad to see the mayor make a list of unused properties and parcels and start looking at how we can be more efficient in using the space that we do have. I'm from San Francisco, right? That's where I grew up. So there's an actual limited space. It's a peninsula. It's like New York. LA's got room. We just don't use it well. We have plenty of room for luxury apartments. Why don't we have room for affordable housing and permanent supportive housing for unhoused people? I had to put that editorial in there.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay, Terry,
Okay,
what was point
my
number
first
2?
question real quick, and then my first question, because I know you got a lot of callers. I listened to Officer Tatum, Leo 2.0, Carl Jackson, and the Falconer Focus on Fox News, just to name a few, and they cover quite stiffly what's going on the border. And I was just wondering, I was listening to your show probably for about 6 months now. Do you cover the border issues, what's going on, or you really don't like that? And the last question I have, are you familiar with the Joe Biden investigations? They're going to do a live news conference. I don't know if it's going to be on Fox News or the regular news, but the regular news is in his back pocket, so they're probably not going to cover it. But they're going to cover when he was a vice president that he committed some crimes, pay-for-play scams.
Well, I mean, all the time they're always covering that. I thought you were going to say Hunter Biden, because that actually is pending. Yeah, I do cover border issues. I'm not obsessed with them the way that Fox News is. I do understand that this is a problem. We've had a number of conversations with Black Alliance for Just Immigration. And if you missed them, you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. You can find them on the KBLA 1580 app. It's not going to be the same thing as Officer Tatum or the Falcon of Focus, because we're progressive and obviously we have different worldviews. But we do talk about it, and I know they're in a frenzy because Title 42 is ending, and we'll see what happens as a result of that. That's a Trump policy that was able to force refugees, people seeking refuge in the United States, to stay in Mexico.
Can I shut it down on this last note? I know you have.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll let you make your point until they, I guess, get an appointment, which is coming on their phone or their computer, even though they're refugees with nothing. But okay, so now they're concerned that there'll be a rush at the border. They've brought in the U.S. military to support Border Patrol. And so we're going to see what happens. But the thing about it, Terry, is that this is an old problem that goes across Republican and Democratic administrations. We need to have a clear, fair policy for immigration, a non-racist, which we've never had, a non-racially biased immigration policy. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to do. I don't think you can just put it on one party. I think the people are going to have to demand solutions, because Republicans and Democrats both drop the ball on this all the time because they're afraid of the political backlash. That's what I think. Okay, what was your other point?
I forgot what to say, but if it was up to me and if I was somebody, I would impeach Joe Biden. He got his policies. Donald Trump had it just right.
Okay, can I ask you a quick question here? And it is going to be quick. So, do you, when you see that Fox News lied about the big lie, meaning they said the election was stolen, but the text messages and memos and stuff prove that they knew it wasn't stolen, they did it only for ratings, meaning they were just trying to make money. That doesn't make you question other things they say?
I was disappointed because I love Tucker Carlson. I've been following him for about 10 years, and I was disappointed he got fired. I wish he wouldn't have got fired. But
you don't mind the lies. That works for you.
What they tell is correct stuff.
But you haven't seen those. There's text messages showing, especially Tucker Carlson was saying that the election was stolen when they knew that there was no evidence to support that. All right, Terry. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward. We do have a lot to talk about. Call me now, 800-920-1580. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Tens of thousands of families across the United States are grieving over loved ones who've taken their own lives. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Men outnumbering women 4-1 as states across the country, including California, report alarming suicide rates each year. Among Black Americans, suicide is having a unique impact on Black men. The suicide rate for Black people in California rose by 31.1% between 2010 and 2019, a substantial increase when compared to other ethnic groups. For suicide prevention resources, visit focus.senate.ca.gov/mental health/suicide.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
I want to thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all of the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by the original Taco Pete's. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to submit your office to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you're just like our staff, putting in many hard, smart working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, sponsored by the original Taco Pete's, a Black-owned restaurant. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
I know it's gonna happen without you.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are listening to you, 800-920-1580. That's the number, 800-920-1580. No, you hate Biden, Terry. All those talking points. Terry be bringing the talking points fresh off the grill from Fox and Newsmax and places he listens to. But we appreciate the diversity within the KBLA delegation. Left, right, center, we are unapologetically progressive. You are you, and you are always free to call in. I did think I was tickled that President Biden will be speaking at Howard University this year. He's going to be the commencement speaker for the graduating class of 2023. He's going to get an honorary Doctor of Letters from Howard. And I think it's dope. I mean, look, does it bring world peace? No. But the fact that we have a vice president that graduated from Howard, now the president of the United States will go as the commencement speaker. It's a good thing. It sheds light. It gives prestige and notice to one of our revered, historically Black institutions, HBCUs. And I love that he's going to be now have a Howard degree on his resume. That'll mean both the president and the vice president do. He's pushed, the money for the HBCUs up, and he's certainly put them in the spotlight. Remember, he gave a speech at South Carolina State, which is another HBCU now. He's going to Howard right there in D.C. And I think that's good news. I think it's a continuing. Folks like to say, oh, Biden hasn't done anything for black people. Oh, okay. Well, that's not quite true. Has he done all the things we want? No. Is he as progressive as we want? No. You can't deny Ketanji Brown Jackson and Kamala Harris, to name just two major small things. Small, huge things. Let's go to Miko, calling us from the city of Compton. Morning, Miko.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
I'm good. Thank you for calling.
About the homeless situation.
Yes.
And, all over the country, but especially here in L.A. I was wondering, do you think the mayor should, have something because, not all homeless people have families, but some have families. Should they have, a program where they, have incentives for family, the family to kind of, not in-home care, but just, be a source for the homeless people to communicate with their families. Should they offer some kind of incentive?
I love that idea, Miko. I mean, because honestly, it reminds me of what the mayor did when she wasn't the mayor for foster care, right? Remember, if you were in foster care with strangers, the strangers got all this money. But if you went to your grandma or your auntie, they didn't get the same support. And that's one of the things that Mayor Bass, when she was Assemblywoman Bass, and even before that in the Community Coalition, worked on. And so that makes sense. It's if many times family members, don't have the resources to take that person in.
Right.
So, I mean, it sounds like that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah. They don't have the resources. I mean, back in yesteryear, more families had the resources. It's like on the movie Soul Food, every other family had that uncle or cousin who just stayed in but grandmama had the house and she had the space, right, to sustain that. And now we don't have those things. And it's another thing I want to bring up about reparations.
Okay, Miko, can you hold that thought? Because I really want to hear what you want to say about reparations. And I want to explore further this idea of some kind of family support in the houseless fight. Is KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Come join us for a celebration of community, culture, and healing at the I Love Myself Festival, Sunday, May 21st from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Outdoor Pavilion of the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall. Yoga, meditation, food, vendors, a kids zone, and a special panelist segment featuring Samantha Smith, D Smoke, and Ebony Davis. Performances by Wilson, Skylar Ray, Divas of Compton, Iman Europe, Kalan For Real, and Eric Bellinger. It's all going down Sunday, May 21st at the Outdoor Pavilion of the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's come together for a day of fun, celebration, and healing. For more details, contact Project Pit on social media or text 323-448-5770. The I Love Myself Festival in celebration of Mental Health Awareness Month is a free event for community healing and culture. May 21st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Fantasia. With special guest Joe, Friday, May 26th at Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles and Saturday, May 27th at Toyota Arena in Ontario. Fantasia, live in concert. Tickets on sale now at fantasiaofficial.com. Don't miss Fantasia with special guest Joe.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You do, Miko. You belong here. So appreciate the call and your ideas, man. Some brainstorming going on in your house, talking about how we could support the families of the unhoused. It's almost like a shame thing. Everybody has a family. Why doesn't their family take them in? Maybe their family is barely feeding the kids, barely feeding themselves. Maybe, like you said, we're now forced into these tiny apartments because the rents are too damn high. And so people don't have the means. So some kind of subsidy for family members who also may have some leverage in helping deal with folks' struggles. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, now, they just should include that in the whole, the whole message about this crisis that's going on. Just,
yes.
Have some kind of number that family members can call and ask for what kind of support can they be given, so we can help out our community, and other people too, but some people really be wanting to link up with their family, but like you say, they don't have the means, times is hard. People don't have that time to worry about another, like we say, another grown person, Right. So we all got to just link up, and especially family members, to those out there.
Yeah, Miko, don't be surprised if you hear me advocating for your idea. And also, call me back. But I know you wanted to talk about reparations, so let's pivot.
Yeah, what makes California, it's a beautiful state. LA is the best city, the people.
Yes.
But what makes California always traditionally been the most number one state or the most progressive state is the power of Reaganomics. The country got introduced to Reaganomics in 1980. Black Californians had gone through Reaganomics all through the 60s, and he was the governor of California. See, that's why because Reaganomics, we see what it did to the country. Small government, big private, trickle-down effect. We see what it did. But Californians have suffered that way before. The nation just got introduced to that. Not just, I'm older, but 1980. But Californians had to go through Reaganomics because he was the governor of California. That's why California was always in the lead, because we had already experienced Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And then he got introduced to the nation. So that's why Californians really deserve reparations, because we had to deal with Reaganomics 20 years before the nation introduced the Reaganomics.
Boy, you're on a roll today, Miko. It's a great point. Trickle down turned out to be trickle up. As Attorney Connie Rice was pointing out yesterday, trillions have gone from the middle class and low-income folks to the rich through these austerity policies. We're talking with Attorney Jaiye Person Lynn, but you're invited into the conversation. It is a Talking Point Tuesday on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Illinois, African-American Lori Lightfoot is saying goodbye to the Chicago mayor's office. Lightfoot gave an emotional farewell address yesterday, saying she feels better about the city's future. It's about the Hollywood writers' strike since it began last week. During a White House screening of the television show American-Born Chinese, Biden emphasized the power of stories